on. Obviously, you've gone through a lot of different things and you wouldn't change it. But if somebody was like, "Hey, do this, don't do that, don't worry about this, worry about this," and things like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would necessarily change it because the trajectory of where you are or were determines, where you're at. So it kind of like domino effect, right? I think for female artists in particular, what I've had to deal with, unfortunately, were men who would take advantage of their position of power. And if I could talk to myself, when I was in my 20s, I would say, like, don't take that shit. Like, it's not something you have to take. But I think then I was so young and so dumb and so like you're naive and you didn't know any better. Naive, and I just thought, this is how the world works.
Yeah.
And surprise, that is not how the world should work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people being able to like sexually assault you is not how the world should work. And that's not okay. Like, none of that's okay. None of it's acceptable. That's like one of the main things for me that I had an issue with, or with people who would pretend to be really cool with you and they really just want to like hook up with you.
Yeah.
And that's something that men don't have to worry about in this industry, or in a lot of industries, you know, like it's perfectly okay to want to feel safe where you are. And I think that not enough places offer that safety.
For like a female artist.
For a female artist.
Yeah.
It's just not like you just have to like put up with it, or, oh, boys are being boys, or, oh my God, that happened. Why did you let him?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like, I didn't do anything. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's always like this victim shaming. And I think for females, it's so hard. And I hope it's changing, because like I've been in this whole industry for 10 years, right? So I'm hoping it's changing, but I know that change is slow sometimes. Because I don't want that for anybody else.
Yeah.
That's just so shitty, man.
Yeah. Like, so like if you feel like you're in a place where it's kind of like that, it's probably one of the best places to grow at.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have to deal with that. You should be more focused on the job at hand. Because I've never had to, show up anywhere at work and have to worry about, being sexually assaulted or making little comments and shit like that. I just, as a male, that's something that we don't think about. And it's true, for a lot of females and whatever, a lot of different aspects in life, whatever, you know what I mean? Especially in male dominant careers, which I see it all the time. I remember when I was in IT and I would be traveling, there was a girl, a lot of guys would be all weird.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like, it's a girl
that can do what we do.
That was the thing, is that I was always around a lot of females that were doing different things and things like that. And my mom raised me, obviously, not to be an asshole. And not
everybody's raised that way.
Right. But people would get weirded out. Like, she's the IT manager? Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously she's there for a reason. She's knowledgeable, educated, and things like that. You think if she wasn't and didn't want to be here, she'd be here. She'd probably be somewhere else. So I'm glad you say that. And it sucks that happens. And I'm sure it still does.
It has to, right? Like, that's the world we live in, but it doesn't have to. I guess my point is, like, you don't have to stay wherever you're starting or where you're at if shit like that is happening to you, and you shouldn't stand for it. You should say something and speak up. And I think that's, it's problematic because, then you have people saying, well, it's his word against hers. And what if she's lying? And what if, she just wants her fame. She wants her 10 seconds of fame, or she wants to just,
because
fuck him up. And
at the same time, we'll be honest. There's some girls that will take advantage of it in certain ways that, it could work in their benefit, but they shouldn't. But for the girls that, artists that are coming up, that are in a tattoo shop that don't feel safe, it's not okay to be safe. You should be working on your craft and the procedure. And things like that. Because a lot of things that I'm sure you've learned over time is like, there's a lot of things that go into a tattoo session. It's not like you just show up and, you just start tattooing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of people don't think about that kind of shit.
Man, also that, like, if you're a female artist and you have a client that, tries to do some stupid shit with you that's really inappropriate, like, stop that session and tell them to leave.
Yeah.
Like, whoever it is, regardless of gender, if it's inappropriate, it's inappropriate. And you don't have to stand for that shit. You don't have to finish the tattoo. And I think I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I had a guy, like, put his hand up my thigh and I didn't know. Like, you stop and you kick them out.
Yeah.
And that's it, Instead, in my head, I was thinking, fuck, like, my boss is going to think that I screwed up. He's not going to, like, be happy with me. I had to make this amount of money from this person and I didn't. If I kick him out, then I won't make that money.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of things happening because, in the past, other things would happen and no one would have my back. And I think that's part of being a female artist that men don't fucking understand.
Yeah.
Like, safety is so important. And that's the whole reason why this place is, like, has to be a safe haven. Like, for me and for clients. Like, it's not, like, nobody that wants to do any weird shit is welcome here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not for that.
Exactly. Just like, here, I'm here to provide a service because I want to, with something that you hopefully be happy with once we're done. And the last thing I want is for you to feel uncomfortable, me to feel uncomfortable, and everything. So for a lot of artists coming up, you would say just, focus on what you need to focus on as far as, getting better at your craft and your art, keeping up with the times. But if it's a place that you don't see yourself being safe or people aren't, like, honestly trying to help you,